before we show, we actually want to warn you that it's actually quite alarming. We don't usually want to show smoking on DBL, especially with children, but that's the entire point of this shocking PSA. Take a look.
How's everybody doing? We all right? Great job. You guys are doing it.
Tackle football is like smoking. The younger I start, the longer I'm exposed to danger. You wouldn't let me smoke. When should I start tackle? Choose flag under 14.
So, wow, the studio is silent. DBL Nation, does this change your views on allowing children to play tackle football? Again, what they're asking for is you don't do tackle until you're 14 years old. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so Susan from Twitter says, I have been spouting off for years about how barbaric football is and have continuously refused to watch it. I just can't see how parents can continue to encourage their children to play when the evidence of danger is right in front of them.
Whoa.
And, you know, California, Illinois, and New York feel this way also. They are having conversations about putting laws in place to ban it until a child is 12 years old. And I want to point out that one of the referee in the video is Chris Borland, who formerly was on the 49ers, and he had 2 concussions and quit the NFL after 1 year. So I just think that we need to pay attention to this and just listen to this perspective.
He had those concussions when he was a kid or when he got into the NFL?
When he was in the NFL.
Okay, not as a kid though.
No.
All right. Because it's such a barbaric sport as a kid.
That was a viewer comment.
And the government trying to step in and saying if your kid can play tackle football or not, I'm not okay with that. Junior from YouTube says, and I think he agrees with me, says, to deprive your child of something they love or dream of doing is even worse than the potential threat of injury. These kids look up to these NFL players. They want to be these NFL players. And the NFL is doing a great job of not only, I know we hate all these flags that's being thrown, Al, especially on the Browns. But we hate, but they're cleaning the game up, teaching guys how to keep their head up when they tackle. And they're doing that for youth football as well. So you can say, oh, my kid's not going to play until they're 14, but you're going to put your kid in Taekwondo, martial arts, they get kicked in the head there, and they can have a concussion. So I don't think the government should get involved when it comes to this. I'm okay with splitting it up and being like, hey, you can play flag football till 14 and you come in. But when you come in as 14-year-old and these kids have already been tackling and they're not scared to hit,
I think it has to be all the kids.
You're going to come in and you're going to be a little timid, and then you're going to hesitate. And when you hesitate, that's when the injury happens.
Well, it's good to hear from an ex-NFL player. That's really important to hear. Thanks.
Yeah.
How do you know I didn't play in the NFL?
Because you didn't.
Oh. Jen from Facebook says, sorry to say my kids will never be allowed to play football. Too risky. Jen, I think anything where you're getting hit in the head is going to be risky. There's a ton of concussions in soccer. There's a lot of concussions with snowboarding. I've seen a couple of documentaries on that. Obviously, boxing, we've all seen the results of that. Anything where people are getting hit in their head and their brain, which sits in fluid, then sloshes to one side or the other and bangs against, is going to be a problem.
So you're okay with this?
And Brandon, I don't think that the NFL, the government is trying to tell you that your kids can't play football. They're just saying no different than the government tells you to buckle up, you know, save a life, tells them to not smoke, get your kids vaccinated. It's really just a suggestion. We've done research. We've found that this is the best way to keep your kids safe, and it's really because they just don't want to take care of them long term. I mean, this is a money thing for the government. They want their citizens healthy and paying taxes. So I don't think they're trying to tell you what to do. I think they're just saying we have some research on this, and the research isn't great.
I know we have to move on, but I just hate the fact that we're putting it on the sport. We're putting all this money into the sport. Everybody's making money off of these athletes, but no one wants to make a helmet that's going to do a better job of preventing these sort of things.
Should get involved in
that's what I'm saying. Like, if we can send astronauts to the moon and they can go at G-Force 500 or whatever, then you can't. We can't.
G-Force 500 sounds good, but I don't know.
Okay.
No, I agree with you on that.